How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Over the last 5 months or so, we've had a terrible time in some of the stock market with a lot of the hotel stocks, a lot of the air traffic stocks, a lot of the restaurant stocks just doing horribly. A lot of these companies have really taken a dive, whether it's 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. These companies have gone down. And it's caused a lot of instability in people's portfolios and a lot of losses if you were selling out of your stock. However, there still are a lot of buying opportunities, I think, out there in these stocks. So I want to go over the top 10 stocks to buy and to have if we find a vaccine. So I'll give a shout out to JJ Buckner, who actually came out with this on Thursday. And I haven't said this already, but happy Friday, everyone. Last day before the weekend here. But he did this video talking about stocks to explode when a vaccine is found. And I just thought this was a really cool idea. I watched the video that he had, and I made sure that I didn't include any of the same stocks that he had because I didn't want people thinking that I was taking his ideas. But there is one listed in there that is a pretty good one, which is Disney, which, they've had to shut down a lot of their parks. But definitely go check him out if you haven't done that already after you're done with this video. There is a lot of potential in the stocks that I'm talking about today. I'm going to talk about some that are down really significantly. I mean, we're talking 80% or so, 60%. A lot of them have really high dividend yields right now too. So if you're able to lock it in and buy right now and they bring back their dividend or they just keep their dividend, you might be getting a 9 to 10% dividend on your stock. I think there's a lot of potential. So if you're looking to build your portfolio and maybe double it in the next year and you're willing to take some more risk, these might be the stocks to go with. So a lot of these I hold, and I'll tell you which ones I hold when I go over them. But there are REITs, there are different food stocks, there are different entertainment stocks, and a whole ton of different stocks. So I'm sure that you'll find something that you like. I'm just going to go over the stock, what it is, what the share price has done, and go over some of the benefits, but then also talk about why people aren't really bullish on it now, but why it might be a really good stock later. Before we get started, if you don't mind hitting the like button, it really does help out the channel massively. I mean, this pushes it out to more people. Also, comment down below before and maybe after you watch this, telling me what stocks you are looking out for if there is a vaccine, or if we just start opening up the economy and, everything is fine, the virus kind of goes away, or we just get used to it, or, anything like that, where the economy starts to open back up very quickly. Tell me what stocks you're looking out for and which ones you're bullish on. And then if you do want to invest in any of these stocks, there are links down there to WeBull and to M1 Finance. That is a massive part of the support that you can give to this channel. If you just sign up with $100 with WeBull, you can start investing on the platform and you get 2 free stocks, one worth up to $1,400. So it really helps me out, and it's a good way to kind of get you invested or just get a new platform and get some free money in the meantime. So just going through, the first stock that I want to talk about is one that I own. It's a REIT. It's a very risky REIT right now, but it is SPG, or Simon Property Group. So they have a massive dividend yield that is right around 8.2%. They are a mall chain. They're one of the largest, or the largest, retail real estate investment trust that is in the mall space or the shopping space. They are still acquiring new companies and new distressed companies to add to their portfolio. And they were significantly higher a couple months ago. If we look just in early February, they're at about $145 a share, and they've dropped down 56%. I was able to buy some of them recently, and I think I might have to buy some more because I think that they're the most well-positioned REIT in this kind of sector to take advantage and to be able to make it through what's going on. So I might be able to and might want to buy some more of them. Now, again, this is a higher risk play because they are a mall REIT. They have been declining, and the business has been declining over the last 10, 15, 20 years, but I think they're going to be able to transition to a little bit different work, so maybe more entertainment as opposed to just putting stores in the malls. So I think they're going to be able to transition, and you can lock in a very high dividend yield right now. The next stock is another real estate stock, and it is Realty Income Corp. So this is another REIT that I hold, and I hold a significant position in them. I think I hold maybe 5% of my portfolio in Realty Income, and they are a monthly dividend paying stock. They pay right around 4.6%. I bought a significant portion of them when they were around $50 a share, and I've been buying more since then. But they were $82 a share, and they hold a lot of different real estate properties that are really well diversified, and they lease to a lot of big companies like Walgreens and other retail stores. They are very well diversified, like I said, but it still is one company that you're investing in. They pay monthly dividends, so a lot of people like them for that, and they are able to increase this on a year-by-year basis, and they've had a really great history of that. So that might be another company that if the economy opens back up, people are more bullish on. If we just look at their 5-year chart or their max year chart, let's look at that instead. It's just been steadily increasing over the last 20 years or so. A lot of people love them, so I think a lot of people will go back and try to buy in once they realize that it's a safer stock. Now, if you don't want to invest in one specific REIT and you don't want to take that amount of risk, you can invest in something like VNQ, which is the Vanguard Real Estate Fund or ETF that is a well-diversified basket of different REITs. They might be a good solution if you don't want all the risk of a normal REIT. And if we just look over the last 10 years or so, they are up significantly, and they do have a nice dividend yield over 4%, so that might be a good way to diversify your portfolio. They were around $100 before the pandemic hit, so they're a good way to diversify your portfolio, and I assume once people, again, realize that REITs are kind of safe and the economy's reopening, that they will buy this real estate fund. If you don't want to invest in real estate companies, but you want to invest in something that is kind of in that same space, you can invest in Wynn stock. So Wynn Resorts, they are a company that I hold personally. I was able to buy in when they were maybe $40 or $50 a share, and now they're up to $76. So I have a nice 50% return or so, maybe 60%. They were $150 before the pandemic, and now they're down about 50%. They have a nice dividend yield of 5.25%, and a lot of these companies have cut in the short term their dividends, but a lot of them will probably bring them back once they are able to report strong numbers again. So Wynn Resorts is really at the top level. They're a very classy hotel, so the high rollers go there. They have a couple different locations for Wynn Resorts, and I think that they're going to do well going forward. They're kind of making their name for themselves in Macau and then in Las Vegas. Definitely check them out. I think it might be a good place to invest your money, and I still have money in them now. If you don't feel like investing in real estate at all, the next one that you can invest in is actually a retailer, and that's TJ Maxx. So I don't know how widespread TJ Maxx is throughout the United States, but here in Michigan, we have a lot of them. TJ Maxx, Marshall, Home Goods, they are all kind of less expensive options to buy different products, especially TJ Maxx and Marshalls. You can buy a lot of brand name clothing for discounts if it's out of season or if it's just a little bit old. And they have decreased pretty significantly from $63 or $64 down to $51. It's about a 20% decrease now. But I think that a lot of people are wearing a lot of the same clothes, and then once we are able to kind of get back and go back to our old ways, a lot of people want new clothes for returning back to school, or just because they haven't been shopping as much, or maybe they've been shopping a lot online and it's really expensive, so they want to go see what kind of deals they can pull out at TJ Maxx. And maybe after shopping you feel like going on a date or something, you can buy Darden stock. So this is a restaurant chain stock, and they hold different companies in it. The most well-known are probably Olive Garden and Longhorn Steakhouse. They have dropped down significantly, so this is a riskier play because it's a food play, but they were at $122. Now they're at about $35. And again, I'm not taking a look at their balance sheet or the revenue or anything like that. That is just if the vaccine comes out and they're able to make it through it, that the stock's going to pop. So definitely do your own research. I'm not telling you to go out and buy these stocks. I'm telling you, though, that there's a good opportunity in these stocks if a vaccine comes soon. So Darden has a lot of these different restaurants, and these are kind of the middle of the packed restaurants. They're not really expensive. They're not really cheap. So at least for me personally, I don't like to go spend $14, $15 a meal on some like Olive Garden or Longhorn Steakhouse and then bring it home. I think a lot of the food doesn't taste as good when you bring it home. So either I'm going to get something really cheap or I'm going to try to cook it at home. I'm not going to try to get a really nice meal or something mid-range and then bring it home like a burger because things get kind of like wet in the styrofoam and stuff. The fries aren't as crispy. That's just something that I think, let me know your thoughts below whether you have the same thing. But they also aren't these regionally owned or locally owned companies that a lot of people have been trying to attend. So they have had a difficult time going through this, but I think that they're going to be able to get back to where they were before if we're able to get through this and if the economy opens back up. Now, what do you do after going to dinner on your date? You go to the movies. So AMC stock, they are down from about $7 or $8 a share down to $4 a share. And personally, I don't love the company over the long term. I think a lot of these movie theaters are going to go out of business, or they're going to have to transition to entertainment more and be able to sell food and drinks and stuff like that, which I think is definitely a promising thing for them to do. But over the long term, I think more people will transition to things like Netflix, like Hulu, like Amazon Prime. So this is not a company that I'd hold for a very long term, but they have dropped down a lot. And if we are able to go back to the movies, I think the stock would definitely jump up significantly in a short amount of time. And then if you don't feel like going to dinner and a movie, then you can actually just go to Dave & Buster's and you can play games and get food there. They are a company that had a difficult cash position when this all started. They dropped down all the way down below $5 a share, so they became a penny stock, and they were at about $47 a share before this happened. Now they're back up to about $13, but they're still down 72%, right? So if they're able to get through this, which I'm pretty sure that they will just because of some moves that they were able to make to gain a better cash position, they should be able to jump up pretty significantly if people feel comfortable going back to these types of locations and be able to go play. And I think over the long term, they'll probably be hurt a little bit just because, a lot of people won't want to go back right away to these Dave & Buster's locations and play games because they might still be nervous. But I think over time, people get more comfortable with it again and they'll be willing to do this. Now, if you don't want to stay local and you want to go to a faraway location because the pandemic's over and we have vaccines, then you can go to Delta. So you can use Delta to fly to wherever you're going to go. I own Delta Airlines, so I think they're one of the better positioned airline companies, and I'm pretty bullish on them over the long term. I'm still holding on to them because I think that they're going to get back up to $30, $40 a share. My buy-in price was a little bit high. I kind of caught the falling knife, as they say, and bought in around $40 a share, but I can't sell out of them because I think that they're going to go back up once the pandemic's over. And if you don't feel like flying to a faraway location and you kind of want to just maybe drive down to Florida or take a cruise around, you can go with Carnival Cruise Lines. So Carnival is a company that a lot of people kind of were buying into, I think, right before the pandemic. And unfortunately, they dropped significantly. They're down almost 70% now, but they were just printing money before this happened. If they bring back their dividend, it'll be around a 14% yield. I'm still holding on to Carnival. I have a small position in them too. But I am happy to hold on to them because if they make it through, I think that they're going to jump up drastically. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. These were my top 10 stocks I think will pop like crazy if we get a vaccine, or really if the economy starts to reopen very quickly or anything like that. As soon as we're able to get more back to where we were, I think these stocks will do well. And again, this isn't over the next 10, 20 years or even maybe the next 3 or 5 years that I'm talking about. I'm just saying if we were able to reopen quickly, these are the stocks to look at that will do well. So let me know your thoughts below. I appreciate it. Again, if you want links to start investing with WeBull or M1 Finance, I have them below. I do weekly videos where I talk about what I'm investing in, and I'll link to one here about the last dividend stocks that I bought. One of them had about 9,000% revenue growth over the last couple of years. So that was just amazing to take a look at it. It's a stock that I own, and they're up about 50% since I bought them just a few months ago. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good weekend, and I will upload a video tomorrow. Bye.